Hello, this is Doom Eternal. It's been under a bit of controversy lately, but it's not for what you think. See, the game isn't under fire because it's violent. It's because in order to get to the violence, you actually have to earn it. And today, I'm going to explain what that means. It's a sequel to a game from 2016 simply titled Doom. Now, this isn't the first game called Doom. It's technically a reboot of the original 1993 classic. This game was all about pushing the player forward, keeping them moving, but also trying to ease them into it and as to not upset them. A lot of games weren't like this at the time. And although it kept moving and it was very fast for the time, you had 8 weapons, just an absolutely huge arsenal, there was very few applications for what you're given. See, with every single situation, it should be kind of like a math problem. When you're given 8 weapons to carry at all times, it only makes sense for there to be applications for every weapon, and not just one for everything. And yet that's what this game did. The answer for problem 2 is still the answer for problem 3, 4, and 5. It had been said that the intention was to make this like a bloody version of chess, which in terms of the original game was almost accurate. But the thing was, with this new game, one pawn shouldn't be able to take out the entire board. And now 4 years later, the devs have seemingly accomplished exactly what they wanted to do with the first game. People are getting angry at it.
You better get used to seeing this on your screen, because you're going to be seeing it a whole hell of a lot.
You can only hold 16 shells? 16 shells? But you can eventually upgrade it to 24? 24?!
Later on, I had to swap weapons like every 5 seconds, and chainsaw a guy every minute or so.
Doom Eternal as a sequel changed a lot of things from the previous. The ammo count was lower. Weapons and their special abilities were changed, some weapons were completely overhauled, and overall the weapons were just balanced to the enemies. And instead of just being able to run up to enemies, almost every single giant has an area of denial attack that'll stop you from running up to them. This forces the player into a state where they have to think based on who's on the field and where they are. They have to actively figure out how they're going to handle the situation, and they can't just come up with the same weapon. The changes in Doom Eternal are part of what's making it so revolutionary to the genre. Doom Eternal tapped into what makes multiplayer games great, even though it's a single-player shooter. However, as you heard, some people weren't happy with the low ammo count, although this shows a lack of understanding. A majority of complaints are just showing an unwillingness to learn the game. See, every single thing you do has a purpose, whether it be your grenades, ice bomb, all these elements that the player can do. These all have meaning. They allow you to do better. Without them, you're a lesser player. The monsters are the same way. Every one of them is a pawn with a purpose. They're perfectly made to obstruct you in a way, but not be too hard to overcome. They fulfill a role that's missing in the game. One of these pawns, called the Marauder, is under the most fire. This is one of the main reasons why a lot of people consider this game not to be any good, or just too hard.
He is the absolute worst. He's taken the crown from the Archvile. F*** him and the ghost horse he rode in on.
The Marauder is my third big issue with Eternal's campaign.
He can only be hit in very small windows when his eyes glow green, or else he puts a shield up. The BFG does basically fucking nothing to him.
What the Marauder actually does is halt the fluid combat of Doom Eternal, only enemy in the game that forces the player to slow down, the polar opposite of every other philosophy and encounter.
Warning, all armed personnel, the mortally challenged have entered the compound. Evacuation is advised.
I do want to make it very clear that I respect both of the individuals that I've shown here. I only want to show this because I think it shows exactly what I've been talking about. Whenever you're learning a new game, be it basketball, chess, or even checkers, you're not going to be good at it instantly. It takes time to get good at a game, but it's not fair to blame the game for your inability to play it well.